Fix.
Now, this is Bill Clinton. I have a couple things I want to say. First, you're listening to my favorite podcast, Mouse and Weens. Second, I need a cheeseburger. Third, I need a cheeseburger. Listen to Mouse and Weens. So good.
Mouse and Weens and a 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 mouse and Weens, mouse and Weens and a mouse and Weens. Ain't nobody gonna break it by stride. Ain't nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving. Hello.
Hey, do we pay royalties for that? Welcome to Mouse and Weens, everybody. We're back. This is Joelle Mouse. I'm the motherly type, matriarch of the family, head of the household.
Wow.
Just
Just giving yourself a big role.
I know, like that. I'm adding on.
I'm the wiener. I just sit around and wait for scraps.
It's been a while. Again, dude, the season has been very busy for us. We've been having a tough time getting together to record. I don't know why, because now we live together. All right, Weens,
Crazy.
that's where we left off. You were about to move in, so
I can't believe I actually did it.
You
Can
did
you
it.
believe it?
no, I
It
know.
happened so quickly.
Address change forms and everything. What do you think? Tell me about the process. How did it go? We're going to talk about a real topic, you guys, which is personal space. So hang on for that. But first, we're catching up.
Yeah, I think I might have had COVID. I was moving. So, okay, it was a quick decision. I think. Was it a quick decision to move into your house? It just kind of started to make sense. And I think I couldn't take it anymore at the other place. There was too much hubbub.
Yeah.
There were final straws. There were camels' backs to be broken. That's so sad to think about. And then it just made sense, right? As a bigger picture, I'm like, I don't know if this opportunity will ever come up where we can both do this.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, I guess, at any time that you want, but
Well, we were
Where's it
thinking
go?
about you being closer to the kids as they get older. And, I have a junior in high school who's not going to be around forever. And you were feeling like you were missing out. Plus, going back to get your master's and the cost and rent and, yeah. So
The only thing that was weird, which I wasn't sure about, was if I start school in August, that's 7 months from today. So basically, I have 7 months of downtime at your house, which my vision was to fill it with creative projects and maybe like get a little side job. Maybe get a side job. That's probably important.
No, I mean, honestly, we were happy to float. We're being patrons of the arts and we're floating your career right now.
But there's no arts happening because there's no time, because your life is crazy.
Okay, yeah. So talk about that, because there is time, but because you always tell me, well, why don't you just do it when the kids are at school? Why don't you just da-da-da-da? But what happens? Yeah, this is from the perspective of a creator, a single creator, jumping into a married lady's life with 3 kids.
There's too many distractions. It's crazy. You have kids who have needs and driving. And if you did anything, it would be from the hours of maybe 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Those are your only free moments, and you'd have to not do anything else. You can't eat. You can't do
You can't talk to cats or dogs or take anyone in or out to go poop or walk. That's, I think,
and you
part
can't
of
clean, and there's always, your house is huge. There's always cleaning to be done.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to concentrate on anything because, I don't know, for me, I have to work on my own shit though, because I feel like I have to earn my keep. So I'm always up doing.
Well, no, and you don't. But you do help a lot when you pick up Charlotte so that I can take the boys to work out. And that's been really great. So I love that.
Not
Thank
the
you.
boys in the morning? I take them to school in the morning.
Well, I can do that at that point. Unless it's like a crazy busy garden morning where I'm getting all my supplies
But
together.
you're always getting your supplies together. You're always crazy.
Yeah, kind of. Sometimes. Some days I'm fine. Some days I'm just, I've got everything
Then take
planned.
them if you want when you're not crazed.
Okay. All right. We're working out our schedule here live on the air. You guys get to hear how it goes. So the bottom line is, how do you take a crazy home, because I was a stay-at-home mom for ages and kept complaining I couldn't get anything done, and everyone looked at me like I was crazy. Like, but I'm trying to explain it. So now you get it a little, right?
Yeah, there's no, it's just everyone is, it's the breaks in time. You would have to go do what Dad did. Our dad used to go into the woods and write screenplays.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just get distracted. You can't, I can't work that way. Because you're just getting into a groove and someone goes, do you know where the pops are? Does anyone have any pop?
Yeah.
And then you're like, we're not in Chicago. And they're like, but I'm still looking for pop.
Here's how we look for pop. I love that.
Your kids are crazy. They love pop.
No.
You didn't even know this. See, I'm spending more time with them now. Oh, God.
I'm losing touch. Yeah. All right. Well, good. I know. I do the same thing. I can't sit down for any chunk of time. That's why I think my life is so distracted. I have like 12 things going on all the time. Smaller projects, and I can't sit down and do
but
one big thing.
Now, there was this article about how people in American culture, Western culture, think that they're more important and valuable if they're busy. So they're constantly creating ways of saying, I'm too busy for that. Mm-hmm. It gives them worth, self-worth. So
I've said I'm busy quite a few times in my life, yes.
Well, yes, and so have I. And I know where mine, I used to fantasize when I was younger. I'd have a calendar and I'd want to fill it in with all this stuff because I thought it was important. And I probably still have that, but now I could care less.
Yeah.
I'd like to be unimportant and have nothing on my calendar.
Yeah.
But what about you?
You're looking at me like you have something to say. Well, I know what you think, because actually I do get a little high when I have lots to do in a day. And it works out and I get it all done and I can do all the things. And it's planned to the minute. Like you've seen a couple days in action where I know I have to be somewhere at 4:00 and I can be between 12 and 4. I can get like a ton of shit done and zoom around and do all my errands and pick up the kids and get dinner and come back and then be at the appointment on time. And I love when that happens. It's like a little puzzle that I've worked out. So I don't know, my competitive nature digs that, my personality. But I know the merit of sitting and being, and that's okay. You're also worthy if you are just alive and breathing and existing and being healthy.
Yeah, you're like a Tasmanian devil. It's hard to be around a little bit sometimes because I'm like, it looks like someone's in pain, and how do you help them? Granted, that could be my codependent parts coming out.
I know, but that's when, if you feel that, then just go hide in your back room or go outside.
It might be for 8 hours a day.
I'm not that bad. I'm really not that bad. It's just you've seen me, though. You know my schedule. Like, what am I supposed to do?
If you like
Quit my job?
And you're fine with it, then don't get mad. Don't look at me like that.
Well, I mean, really, where can I change things? What should I change?
It sounds like you don't want to change them, so who am I to say that you should change them? If you're happy with how you are you?
I am.
Then fine. You told me the other day, I'm happy with who I am, because I said, do you want to, what did I say? I tried to get you to do something you didn't want to do. I was like, do you want to sit down and do a little meditation or something like that? And you were like, I like who I am. I don't need to meditate, and I'm comfortable with who I am.
I am.
You kind of got snippy. But
well, I get it. It just, it's so hard for me to meditate. I can't sit there and...
That's fine, though.
I don't get it. I don't get what you do. What is it? What are you doing? What do you need to wrap your head around?
You're a human being, not a human doing.
Oh, God.
I knew she'd say that. No, hey. This is what I have to say. There are all different forms of meditation. You could walk down the street and you could feel relaxed. You could meditate or do your garden. Yeah. And I think there is no right way to do it. Maybe it's just what gives you peace if you have enough of that in your life.
My favorite chill moments are walking the dog and listening to a podcast, or cleaning my house and listening to a podcast, or gardening and listening to a podcast. I like to have my ears engaged.
That's good.
And be doing something. Moments of silence are cool too, but I don't know. I get bored. And
I like moments of silence. Also, it doesn't happen, especially when you're sleeping next to your sister, because we're in a hotel room right now in Tahiti.
Yeah.
And my sister, who's yelled at people often for snoring and thinks that she is a saint non-snorer. I recorded her snoring last night. She went to bed at 8:00. First of all, who does that? Well, now I'm trapped.
2 hours different. It's 10 p.m. San Diego time.
Okay, well, there's no point in thinking of it that way. you just have to adjust right away. Which I'm very in the moment due to my meditating. Just kidding. But so I'm trapped in between honks over here and snores over here.
Mom is traveling with us. It's the three of us in this hotel room right now.
And they fall asleep in an instant. And I have two people who are... and I'm stuck here at 8 o'clock.
We were the ones that had the bottle of wine last night. I think that had something to do with it.
And so I recorded my sister snoring, who says I never snore. Here we go. Aha!
All right. I know. I get it. I hear myself, and I think it's on my fat neck. I'm working on my weight. I need to get it back down to my happy place. I mean, it's not fat. I just feel like I'm not in the best shape right now. My job thing has taken precedent over working out. Point, I do snore fine.
I like how you're using my points now.
I know. I like that too.
Bring it back to a point.
Really gets
so
it
we're
excited.
in Tahiti. Or do you want to close out a thought that you had about something?
No, just that I had my headphones on last night and my eye patch thing too, and so just one. What are they called? Eye mask. And I said that you can watch TV and do whatever. I was out. I dulled all my senses, so it didn't matter that you were.
Yeah, no, we were
jumping around. I was out.
I ended up watching 30 Rock. Nope, that didn't happen. It was in French. It's like pourquoi? What's 30? Who cares? Point is, what about traveling with your mom and your sister? Whoa. Let's bring it back. I'm in your house now. Are you already regretting this decision?
No, not at all. Nope.
Isn't it weird though?
No. You're doing great with lids and food. You're doing great with cat food cans. And we just have to work on the green smoothie sticky mess on the counter in the morning. That's it. And I'm totally happy.
Not hard. Yeah. Really? But you'll eventually, the shoe will drop at some point. You'll eventually be upset about something.
No.
Really?
It's not happened. No, I love having you there. And everybody feels like, it really does feel like our whole family did this big sigh of relief. Like, she's here.
Really?
Yeah. Like the kids friggin' love you. Dave is like fresh meat audience. He loves that you laugh at his jokes. No, and he loves you. You are like his sister.
But that'll all go away. The novelty will wear. And then you're going to have another human in your house that you're constantly like, oh, the bedroom is being occupied. And so it'll alter the way you like watch TV downstairs.
I really don't think so, though.
Really?
I really don't, because we all have our own spaces that we can go hang out in. I moved my whole little podcast office upstairs to my bedroom window. Dave's got his office upstairs too. We have a big room. We're up there.
What is the benefit of this for you guys?
Our theater
It's
seats.
just like different something going on or extra help.
It's the energy of family. I love that the kids will have this experience. I love that we have you here, that I have you here. We can do more projects together. And I know it doesn't seem like we have time, but I really do think, can we get back to that? Mm-hmm. You were very welcome in our house for as long as you want. You said, how about 6 months? And I said, when does Charlotte graduate? 8 years? You've got 8 years. And when she's 18, then Dave and I might scale down. But you've got 8 years to live with us. So how's that feel?
Why would you scale down in 8 years? Because
if all the kids are out of the house, we don't need a big old house.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I thought I don't know what we're gonna do.
You'll want to sleep together in peace as a couple, and then I could.
Yeah, that's when the humping starts.
Just 18 years. Just a couple of rabbits. 18.
We're waiting. We're doing calisthenics.
We were just talking about that. Do you have scheduled sex ever?
No.
All right. I know a couple people who are married and have scheduled sex. Like Friday at 2, we will be humping. And showers before, showers after. And that's a few people.
This is a wild
thing. Is this a thing?
Do they sell calendar packs with that sticker that you can put on your calendar?
Just a big
eggplant.
Pink eggplant that you stick on your Friday too.
No, I mean, there have been times when it was like, kids and toddlers like, okay, when is the best time? Not in the morning because they could run in and jump on your bed at any moment. So we need to make a nighttime. I don't know. I don't like talking about this. it's fine. Everything works out. And,
Yeah,
but we're
you
not
don't schedule.
scheduled.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the bottom line.
It
But it's been
happens.
talked about a lot. I've been to a lot of like mom lectures and talked to friends and stuff, and a lot of people say it needs to happen.
But you guys don't. I have another couple friend who says, you know, you're married a long time. They've been married 15 years. And you have to initiate it even though you don't want to. And then once you start doing it, then you're in the groove.
This was
Is that true?
the Dr. Laura book I remember reading, The Proper Care and Feeding of Husbands. And I don't like Dr. Laura, but at the time I was newly married and I was struggling because it was like...
Loss of independence.
There's that, yeah, we just, like, your lives merge, as we're talking about. And it's a lot of, I thought it would be 50-50, and it really wasn't at all. And that was hard for me, because I think I had an expectation that, yay, I have a partner who's going to be 50-50 with me. And it wasn't happening. So then I'm like, shit, now what do I do? And I was getting really resentful. So I read that book kind of out of desperation. And it had some good tips and tricks.
And you became the 1950s housewife.
Kind of, but it was all acting. And it was like, fake it till you make it. You know, pretend that when he comes home, like, hi, honey, here's your martini. And oh, I love you. And thank you for working so hard for us. And you're great. Oh, I love how you cleaned up that one dish. That was wonderful. And then like a little child, they go, boing, really? And then they do it more because they like that praise and they like pleasing you. And all of a sudden they're doing all the dishes. And it's a secret mind trick. And it worked. I couldn't believe it. And I remember being so mad at Dr. Laura, like, wait, I have to fake act that I think everything he does is great. But it did work. She was right. And then same with sex. It was like,
You're amazing.
Flirt with them. Pat them on the butt when you walk by in the kitchen, like all the time, no matter what. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I shouldn't have to do that. That's fake. That's acting. But I tried it. And guess what? Mr. responded. And it was like, game on. And then, and then you start at night. You're tired. You don't want to. You're all rolled over. But octopus hands start creeping and just give in and roll over like, wow, that's great. I love octopus hands. And then it works. You are suddenly going at it and you're all in. It's great.
So a little fake it till you make it can work, folks.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know. Hot tips, Dr. Laura.
But then what happened? You just gave it all up and said it's too much work, probably.
No, I don't know. There's still a bit of that in there. I guess it gets woven in. But then I think that mutual respect kind of starts to happen because then you get the results you want. You know, I was getting the dishes cleaned a little more, whatever it was. And then I was happier and then he was happier. It just kind of built from there. So a little wily, womanly ways kind of went a long way. So
that's good.
Yeah. But it does work in that department. But yeah, the expectations of living together, that was a big deal. Let's take a break and hear from our sponsors. And then we're going to talk about that, like personal space. Julianne, guess what?
What?
We are sponsored by Dream Dinners. You know about Dream Dinners. You've stayed with us. We've had great meals with them. Let me tell you about it. Dream Dinners benefits you and your lifestyle, listener, through less shopping, healthy home-cooked meals, most in less than 30 minutes, and everything is already prepped for you. You don't have to do any of the washing, the chopping. It's all done for you. It's great. You can modify the menu that you choose according to your family's likes, dislikes, and allergies with special notes in the instructions. It's really easy for people who don't know how to cook and for those who do, but they want a break from prep and planning. That would be me. I get so tired of trying to think of meals, so this makes it so easy. You just pull out a meal at the beginning of the week, put it in your fridge. It's ready to go. Open your fridge, pop it in the oven or on the stovetop, 20, 30 minutes. It's the best. And we've had great meals. We've had lots of chicken dishes with really interesting sauces. There's a piccata and a marsala. The kids love this pub-style chicken with the mashed potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes. They have salt and pepper fries. They have almondine green beans. I mean, all sorts of stuff. You get sides. It's great. Really, really good stuff. High quality food, healthy. You will save an average of $200 a month off your grocery budget. The average cost is about $6.50 per serving, which is so much less than if you go to takeout or restaurants
or even some of the other boxed meal prep services. You'll save about 20 hours a month from shopping and prepping, and you only have to come in and pick up or have it delivered once a month. And because they're not a subscription service, you can get them as often as you'd like, so you can stop whenever you want to. Anyone who's within 25 miles of the Poway or San Marcos store here in San Diego will get free delivery, free packaging while we're in the purple tier. Usually it's a $25 charge, but it's free this month. And you can enter Mouse and Weens 20 upon checkout when you choose your meals, and you'll get 20% discount. So everyone, please go to dreamdinners.com, choose your location, and you are welcome.
I think it's messing with my equilibrium. Listen.
All right. We're back. Thank you, Dream Dinners, for sponsoring our episode. Okay. And podcast in general. We love them. Hi, Sheila. All right. Let's hear. Julianne was just showing me how she has this stiff neck thing, and she can crack it, but has kind of ruined her neck over time. Here, let's hear.
But I've already got the big ones out.
Okay.
Wah-ba-bee-bop.
Okay, here we go. That was a burp. Can anyone hear?
It basically sounds like popcorn. She's got her mouth open and she's doing rotations, and it sounds like popcorn is going to start shooting out of her mouth. That's so gnarly.
But it's not even, that was not the big one. Sometimes it'll go, yeah. It all started with a massaging device from Brookstone. I think I popped something out of its joint and it felt good, and then I kept obsessing. And apparently when you crack, you loosen.
Is that the one you gave to me?
Yeah.
Oh boy, thanks. Is that why it's broken?
Probably. Because I would lay on it, and who cares about this really? Except that I think I jacked up my neck, and now you get excited about popping it because it releases that dopamine, I guess, right?
I don't even know.
And then you start loosening the tendon, and one side will start overcompensating for the other because one tendon's too loose, which is what cracking does apparently.
So is that why there's noise? I thought it was like air escaping a joint or something like that. We're also drinking coffee.
It's that, but I said, I asked a chiropractor, lady doctor. I don't even know if she was a chiropractor, but it was someone who knew what they were talking about. And I said, what are the downsides of cracking? Because I've heard two different sides. Who cares? It's just releasing air. And then other people say it's bad. She said, the only downside may be that you are loosening the tendon every time you crack. You're pulling it. So it's now more elasticity is in it. So your other tighter side starts overcompensating for that looseness and that made the most sense, I think, from what I've heard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's go back to personal space.
I love cracking bones, though. That's great. All right, so we looked up a article of 5 ways to protect your personal space, because how are you feeling about being in our house in personal space? I know we know we're all busy and it's very disjointed, but you do get a chunk of time in the middle of the day. But in general, how do you feel? Do people keep coming in? Animals do. I know that.
No, it's not that. It's just an adjustment from living by I will speak for myself because it's me we're speaking about. Self, I say. Actually, I did have to cough. Sorry about that. Is that a noise at the door?
I don't think so. I think it's a coffee pot.
Okay. Point. Living by oneself for so long, and now I'm in an environment with a lot of people, is an adjustment. Granted, there are a lot of family, so it doesn't feel super uncomfortable. But I do have to figure out, when you're used to doing anything you want at any hour of the day, you can take a bath in the middle of the day. If you're not working, I guess. But,
yeah. Hey, Big Lebowski, walking around in your robe all day.
Well, that's the difference, right? Because, like, when I would do school, sorry.
This is early morning. We just have breakfast, coffees happening. Things are rumbling.
Our breakfast of pineapples. We're in Tahiti. I will say that it is different. You guys are very, productive people. And there are routines and kids and schedules and 9 to 5s and that kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, very different.
And then mine would be, I would wake up early and everything. It's just how to insert, you're being dropped into someone else's world.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It just takes a minute to adjust to that. And I don't know if you've ever had to do that. To live in someone else's world. Imagine that.
It's always been my world.
Yes.
I've never had to go into anyone else's. Yeah, you're right.
So imagine what that would be if you like moved in with Mom and Denny. And you were like, hi. How do you create your own space in someone else's environment is the question.
Right. I know.
Own independence and...
Yeah. Well, I did want to make sure you had that. So you have your 3 back rooms. You have a bathroom, a living room, and a bedroom, and a hallway. The hallway does not have a door that shuts and locks, though. That's the problem.
Well, it's your wine hallway, too. That's where they get their...
Yeah, that's our little,
booze station, I think is what we should call it. It's their happy hut.
No, it's just a counter that we decided to store our wine glasses on and our wine bottles around the corner. But it's also got all the drawers for the linens and jazz like that.
Yeah, but that is
the
all
bar.
Fine. It's your house. And also...
But we used our little half folding wall, like one of those little things, and set it up at the front. That way the dog can't get in there and the cat can't get in there to bother your cat. But you like to keep doors open so your cat can roam. And with that comes my roaming animals, and then they eat your animals' food, and they go in your space. And then kids kind of see open doors, and they might poke in.
I don't care about that, though.
Really?
People visiting and stuff, I don't mind at all.
Right.
It's
you could be like Dad. Remember how he would put up his signs on doors and shut the door and just be like,
yeah, but that's the
TMing.
part, because then you seem like an asshole.
No, that's not an asshole move. That's a personal space move. Don't worry about what we think, because we all know everybody needs their time and space. Gosh darn, everybody loves being alone. Gosh darn, just everybody likes their own personal space, Hank. So
I wonder if I'm in your personal space. Am I, like, in the morning?
no. Except for when Dave's taking a shower and you're in bed with me and we're watching stuff. That was the one morning you probably made a good choice. Like exiting stage left. Because you were like, let's finish watching that documentary. And I was like, okay. But then he was in the shower kind of like,
How do I get out?
yeah, how do I get out? My clothes are out there. What am I going to do here? This is awkward. But I got up and went in there, and then you were gone when I came back out. You were like, this is weird. It's still warm from where he was sleeping.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you don't notice, but I'll notice, like when we were watching that documentary late in bed and he wanted to go to sleep and he's downstairs kind of waiting for us to, and I'm in the bed with you watching the documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, yeah, whatever. But I think that's when I'm like, I have to navigate this by myself because you don't care, but he might care. It is weird.
Yeah.
To figure out how.
That's true. Well, the good thing is, you know him. He wakes up at 6, no matter what day of the week it is. He goes to bed at 10. No matter what day of the week it is. And that's that. So.
Yeah.
Actually, although he does like to go up to bed at 9:30, and then lights out at 10. Mm-hmm. He's robotic that way. So you can work on that.
Yeah.
Or we just don't watch stuff in my bed anymore. We can also move to any room in the house. But it's so cozy in bed with a laptop. It's the best.
Yeah.
All right, so back to official personal space advice here. Does this mean anything to you? You've done more psychology, so I'm looking at Psychology Today. 5 Ways to Protect Your Personal Space by F. Diane Barth. What's a LCSW? What does that mean?
Licensed clinical social worker.
Oh, that's what you're going to be.
Yeah.
All right. What is personal space? Why do we need it? Lots of studies, University of California, Davis, shows that there is a correlation between our ability to protect our personal space and our attachment tendencies. When we're securely connected, we feel more comfortable setting boundaries than if we feel either insecurely or ambivalently attached. Is that you?
Probably.
Okay.
No, well...
It's
I
just
guess
awkward.
I am ambivalent.
And there's the answer. Well, no, I think we're all, that would be awkward for anybody, but you've had no problem telling me boundaries. You said, can I just set boundaries? So that was why I put that half wall there and said, yeah, just shut the door whenever you want. And you asked, like, is it going to be awkward if I shut my door and just go back there? I'm like, never, that's fine. I think you have.
But really, that is where I have to see where my issues are coming in or it's just an issue. If I really did go back there and hold myself away, you get resentful.
I mean, no, because that was always the expectation. We set that from the beginning. You set that from the beginning. Like, I might go back there and hold myself away. I was like, oh, okay. There's no expectation, except that we did make a kind of schedule with the driving, because that part was like really helpful, and I love that idea. If you could just pick up Charlotte on these days, and we made a calendar and we circled the days. That's it.
So I'm putting myself in a position of doing more than because now I am taking the boys 4 days a week in the morning at 7.
Are you 4?
I think, right?
I think just 2. I'll
3.
do that. I can do all the mornings, plus Dave can too. So it's just Charlotte at 3:15.
But wouldn't you secretly be like, God, this person's staying here?
No.
Without paying rent and only doing one pickup in the day.
Like Dave said, it's a sunk cost. We already have the rooms. We already are feeding all these mouths and doing lots of laundry. You're nothing.
You're nothing to us.
No, but it just, you blend right in, and it's not a big deal at all. And you help, and you exercise the cat that loves his leash. I know, you set up this precedent now. He thinks he's an outdoor cat. But you love the animals, and Wrigley follows you around. He's in complete bliss when you're here. You're the alpha dog when you're around, yeah. The hierarchy has changed.
Wrigley's a stoner, by the way.
Oh, poor Wrigley. Wait, let's finish this. Okay. We'll get to the Wrigley stoner story, because that's pretty funny. No, it was sad, actually. All right, but we're getting to that. Okay, so here's some hot tips for those of you who care about personal space. Number 1, identify and accept your personal boundary needs. You don't want to get drained or hurt or angry. Yeah, and you do that too, Weens. If you are feeling anything, say something, okay?
Yeah.
Don't bottle it up, because you have a tendency with your old neighbor to not say things, right?
I know. Well, I do need probably to leave the house and have concentration time, because I can't get anything done.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
I know. The animals are kind of a player in that, right? It's like mom guilt for me. You feel bad for the animals and go
I feel
home.
bad for the animals. I feed them all and make sure they're all okay. So that's from 9 to 10.
Animal guilt from 9 to 10.
Yeah. And then from like 10 to 1, but then there's phone calls, and then you'll come back at like noon. So you really only have 10 to noon. And then you come in, and then in the 10 to 12, then I go, well, I should probably pick up and make things look a little more organized. So that is the whole free time.
Yeah. So you don't need to worry about that.
I know, but it's just not enough time. I would have to leave the house and go somewhere and concentrate.
Yeah. That's always a good option. That's why I like taking my laptop to Panera or something and doing work there, because then I can focus. Or the library. I even go.
Or the hut.
What's
I said if I moved into your house, it would be if I had a little hut, like a yurt.
Yeah, down at the bottom
Or
of
a
the
teepee.
We're walking off the land, and we're gonna find a place to put a teepee in the backyard. That'll be cool.
I could sleep in the teepee, and then
You're not gonna sleep there. There's rats and coyotes and stuff.
Yeah.
sorry.
All right, so number 1 we did. Number 2, be polite but firm. No problems there, Weens. You can do that. You think it's rude, but it's not. I get it. Everybody.
Okay, I have to work on speaking up. I don't speak up. You speak a lot. Everybody else speaks a lot. I just sit there and listen. It's a weird existence.
Yeah, that's why we're podcasters. You can get it all out now. Go, girl. Tell people what you think.
I think mice are soft.
Very nice. All right. There's an art to setting boundaries. Don't use anger or nagging, but just spell them out clearly, calmly, and courteously. All right. Number 3, start with something small. If you have trouble saying no, whether it's because you don't want to or seem rude or to hurt someone's feelings, or because you feel guilty or you're worried that the other person will get mad at you, part of the problem is most likely that you haven't learned to set a limit and stick with it.
Yeah.
So start small, just like setting a goal, little baby steps. Know what you mean when you say yes. Practice telling other people what you want, whether it's to watch a certain program. I want to watch
Mork and Mindy.
on television and to eat at a certain restaurant called
Horseshack.
That makes it easier to say no when you don't want something like
Ham.
I think that was Horham. No. And number 5, stop feeling guilty. Many of us struggle with boundary violations because we are afraid we will be seen as unkind or selfish if we don't give someone else what they want.
That's me.
Yes.
Secretly, I'd like to be down in the woods writing, and that's probably very patriarchal of me. Our dad did
Oh,
it.
like Dad. Yeah, you really are going full circle here. That's good, though.
Well, I need concentration time. I don't know how you do anything at the level that you can focus if you can't get in a focus place.
You don't. That's why I love when everybody goes to bed and I'm still awake. Those hours, if I can stay up from 10 to 12, like midnight, awesome. And then I wake up at friggin' 4 in the morning until the house wakes up at 6. And those 2 hours from 4 to 6 are awesome, too. That's my solo time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's nuts. So go down to the woods. Girl, I support you in that.
All right, well, get everyone else on board.
All right.
Meaning your husband also, because I feel like it. But you know what? I'm not going to feel that way anymore. I'm going to stick to my boundaries.
There you go. Good. We did it. We win.
We both win.
That's right. We're shaking. I'm doing a left-hand shake because I'm holding my
You don't
phone.
think there's anything... You're secretly judged, though, someone who's not working and living off of sucking off your
No,
house.
I don't. I really don't, Julianne.
Really?
I really don't. I see you as an artist, and are artists expected to work 9 to 5? No. They
Are
need
they expected
to create.
to work at all? I might need
No,
to go
but-
get some work, though. I need some spending. I need some money. I would like to contribute money to you guys, but you won't take it. So I will contribute and labor a little, and also let's do Fudge Rippling projects together, huh?
Well, it's happening. It just, yeah, I think if
Super slow.
if you do your woods thing while I'm doing work thing, and then we get together on nights and weekends, it can happen.
I'm going to do my woods thing.
All right, good.
Except I'm going to bring my some chicken wire for my cat so I could bring her with me, and then we could protect her from coyotes.
Oh, I can go on my free site on Facebook, the little neighborly giveaway site, and I'll bet people have chicken coops or something. You can do one of those set on top chicken coops.
Yeah, can we?
Mm-hmm. Because those would be good.
Protect the cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you're down in the wild there. Speaking of violation, you just sent the most offensive... Well, no, it didn't send, but I saw the most offensive video that was hilarious. But you have to tell... What was going on? Why?
You were looking at my Instagram for some reason this morning.
Yeah.
Stole my phone and went... Looking at my Instagram, and the top search was monkey, sticks finger, and butt, and sniffs. And that was because my good friends who you've heard before in this podcast, Dave Barley and Sean Hughes, we have a little 3-person text string, and it's just funny videos and like offensive. But they started at 4 a.m. They were going back and forth, like talking smack about everything. And
Because they're early risers too, and they're dads, and they get up at 4 to get their shit done, which is apparently sending jokes back and forth. But
that was a particularly early one, and I would hear it vibrating on my nightstand, and finally, to stop it all, I just typed in that and searched for a monkey putting his finger in his butt and sniffing it. And then I found one that I showed Joel this morning, and it was really bad. It wasn't the one that is the famous one with the monkey who sniffs his butt and falls off the log. It was another one.
it's a really good one.
It's a monkey sticking his 3 fingers in the bottom
right, we don't
hole
need to
of a
get-
bulldog. But it's all timed.
It's the music. That's what gets me.
It's timed to music, because it's like, you see the 3 fingers preparing, and it's wow, and someone re-edited it 3 times to what the wow.
Oh, God. It's happening. That's my favorite. When you talk through a laugh. Oh, my friend Laura does that too. It's my favorite ever. Okay, so we're going to post the dog, monkey. Sometimes you just got to get back to the gutter humor.
But
Yeah. That'll be in our...
why are monkeys always doing that? Just always with fingers and butts and sniffs. Monkeys. That's who we are, folks.
We're finger-sniffing monkeys.
All right, point.
Butt pokers.
Point was Wrigley, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so back to animals. Wrigley, sweet dog of ours. Nice golden retriever. Lays around a lot. He's 6 years old. His little white whiskers. He looks like he's older than he really is, and he just lays around a lot. But sweetest dog. Julianne is particularly fond of him, and he's particularly fond of her. And they follow each other around. Well, I guess you don't follow him.
I don't follow him.
No, but he loves you. So he followed you down to the mailbox, and then when he gets out to the mailbox strip of grass, he likes to run all the way down to the bottom of the hill. That's part of his...
I was fixing your combo lock down at the bottom of the
that's
hill.
what it was. Yeah. Where your stuff is stored. And so he was following her, and you walked back, and he stayed down there for a minute, and you were yelling, like, Wrigley, come on. But he was like
his nose was stuck in something.
Yeah, so something was going on, and he got back to the house.
I walked back, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, he had his nose in the poo-poo pile.
What? Oh, wait. You knew that at that point?
Well, he was stuck on something. He was like rooting around. Yeah. And I was like, Wrigley, what are you doing?
And it was in the street or in the grass?
It was like, there was your gardener was in the street kind of blocking him. And I was like, what is he doing? And then I walked back down, and he was at the final lick.
So there was this big pile of doo-doo that we had seen earlier on the street, which isn't uncommon because the coyotes traipse around all night and early morning and leave.
This one was particularly diarrhea-y.
Yeah, and it was different...
Why are we talking about this?
It was it had a different look to it, let's just say. So it might have been human. So anyway, he comes back up to the house and...
licking his chops, and I immediately walk in the door and go, I think your dog just ate doo-doo to Joelle. Remember?
You said that?
Yes.
Instantly. Okay. I don't remember. I was probably running around frantically going
No,
from
you were
one
on
appointment to
computer,
another.
frantically doing something. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So then it wasn't until 4 p.m. that we noticed some oddly sleepy dog behavior, and Toby tossed a little toy to him, and he did this weird herky-jerky thing, flinching, like really, but over and over, like it almost looked like a seizure. And he was like, Mom, something's wrong with Wrigley. And I tried it too. I was like, what? Whoa. And thought maybe he was just sleepy, waking up. But then I went and got his favorite snack, cheese. And he like barely ate it, which was like, oh God.
That's unheard of. Something was wrong. He loves cheese.
Yeah, he'll do anything. I would do anything for cheese, but I won't do that. Sorry. And he, that's when I called the vet and sent the video that I had taken, and they said, take him to an ER immediately.
Because they thought it might be poisoning. You have a couple poisonous plants on your yard, and they were saying it might be neurological toxicity.
Yeah,
right?
Either like a bad mushroom or that castor oil bean or sago palms. We have all of those. Not good. I should probably get rid of those. So we took him to the ER. They looked at his pupils, and they deemed him motherfucking high as a kite.
They were laughing.
He's
high.
Yeah, poor dog.
Dave and Joelle took him, and I watched the kids. And how was that ride? Were you like freaked out? You were mad because Dave wasn't home on time, right?
Yeah, he's like, I'll be there, I'm coming, and took his time a little bit. And I was like in frantic ER mode. I thought he was having a seizure. I thought we were going to lose him. And so I took off without him, and we passed each other on the way there. And then he's like, let me just park my car at home. It's fine. I'll jump in there. So I turned around, followed him back. He jumped in the car, went to the ER, and they ran all these tests on him, figured out they thought it was marijuana that he had ingested. So then we backtracked to the poop pile.
Now you think it's poop. Dave thinks you're crazy. Right? Wasn't he like, stop with the human poop?
Yeah. Oh, but I kept talking to the vet on the phone about it. I'm like, oh, it was probably the human poop we saw on the street. And this poor vet's trying to be all medical, and I had to keep telling her. I go, it was runny, but it was really brown. I was describing it, and Dave was standing next to me with his eyes wide.
He's like,
and his head in his hands shaking back and forth like, no, why are you telling her this?
Dave told me he's going to think that we're the ones that are, he goes, it was so weird that we were like covering up the fact that we're marijuana people or something. It sounded really shady.
Like there's way too many details. It sounds like you're making this up. I'm like, but it's true.
That's really poop, but it wasn't us.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the backstory on all this, okay?
Yeah. But then, right, the lollipop.
For 3 days, right? There was a suspicious car that was parking on the side of your property, outside of your property, but down where you've got kind of it's a great place to smoke weed, basically, let's say. If you're a kid, you would go to the side of Joelle's property. It's the end of a cul-de-sac. There's a trail, and
there's a nice view.
It's like an inspiration point, right? So it's a good place, and there's your trees kind of shade a car so they can kind of hide. But not from me, because I've got the egg old blood, and I'm a bloodhound, and if something's suspicious, I notice it. So I did notice a car that was parking there a couple days, and when the kids were helping me move some boxes down to the shed, Elliot goes, "Is someone burning something?" And I was like, I didn't smell it at that time, but he thought, I go, maybe it's a wood fire stove. A lot of people around here seem to burn it. And he was like, huh. And then the next day I was down there doing something else and I smelled weed. So I got a whiff of it somehow, but I don't know if the car was there. I don't know if I noticed it then. And then it was a suspicious blue Toyota that was parking there. And then
License plate? Just kidding. She did take a picture.
Yeah, so the first time I realized that it was like the third day they were back, and then I go, I'm going to take a picture of their license plate. Except it was raining that day.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to go pick up someone, so I was like rushing out the door, getting into Joelle mode, and I was like, I'm going to take a picture of the license plate. And my camera, all it did is focus on the dewdrops on my windshield. So the license plate was too blurry, but the next day they came back. And I happened to be walking the cat and the dog. As one does, on the base of her property, inside her property. And that car pulled up right outside of the gate in perfect alignment with my snapping finger. So I snapped a picture of their license plate. Oh, wait, the day before, when the dewdrop day, I didn't dewdrop picture.
The human one, or?
Yeah, not the dewdrop, but the dewdrop on the windshield. You seem like you're bored of the story.
No, I like the story.
Okay, so the dewdrop day, when I did not capture the license plate, I've been reading a book called The Gift of Fear by this FBI guy, whatever. He teaches you how to assess whether it's a fearful situation or not. And very interesting book. Bestseller, by the way. Oprah Winfrey likes it, by the way. Every person should read this book, by the way. Anyway. It was to kind of confront the person who you think is the weirdo, and you make eye contact so they know they're there. So I went down to their car, and I looked in, and their lights were on, which I've done that too, where you park your car and you don't turn your lights off and your battery dies. So that was my in. And I drove by their car, their windows were down, and the guy put his hood over his face so I couldn't see him. And I was like, hey, your lights are on. And I sat there and kind of smiled, like Ralphie in line at the Christmas story. I like the 10 man. Yeah. So I just kind of stayed there. I was like, I see you. And the girl didn't look at me either. It was like they looked like a little, indie punk couple. Yeah. But I couldn't really see the guy's face. But I saw her, and she was not looking at me. She put her head way back, like trying not to look at me and look straight ahead.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, I see you, motherfuckers. Woo! And then I turned around. So then they came back the next day, like a couple of roofs.
That's chutzpah.
Chutzpah. So I was there, and the bushes happened to be right there in the bushes next to him.
They're like, this lady needs to get a life. Stop walking your cat in the bushes.
Yeah. I was like, try getting a job, ma'am. So anyway, this is the luxury life of sitting in bushes and taking pictures. So I happened to be right in that bush with my bright yellow iPhone, and I was already down on the ground with Scooby. Your cat was already stalking, and I was down there helping him get some grass. So I was already down in stock position. And then I was like, ha! So I started waddling in my stalking position towards the gate, and I stuck my hand out of the gate. I snapped the picture with my bright yellow camera, which I think they saw, and they immediately sped off.
They're like, she's reached a new level of weird. She's on her belly, crawling through the
like
fence.
A World War II a Vietnam vet in the freaking foliage. I was. My shoe got caught. I tripped at one point because you've got all those vines back there. Yes. But I was in the foliage like a foxhole. Here he comes!
With the bright yellow phone.
They did not come back. But, okay, so the next day after the Wrigley vet experience, I wanted to go back and investigate, of course. You guys had kind of just chalked it up as marijuana, left it alone. Not me. I've got that egg gene.
She had to close the loop on this investigation.
So I went back, and we had both noticed a lollipop. Strangely noticed a lollipop. Another gift of fear from that book I was reading. Use your intuition if something seems out of place. Basically, by the way, intuition is not a mystical thing. Most people who in situations where they're like, they got raped or they, were in an elevator with a weird Unabomber or something. It was intuition, quote unquote, is your brain quickly assessing weird situations. Mm-hmm. So intuition isn't really intuition. It's like, that guy was too close. That guy asked me too many questions. He used the word we. Are we having a good day? So that's a way of getting you in their closed loop of like bonding with you. It's called something I can't remember. But so all these little things kind of, or like, let me help you with your bag. And you're kind of like, no. Well, no, let me help you. And you go, okay, even though you felt weird. So all those intuitions are really just like you're doing the born identity of like, this is weird, that's weird, that's weird, that's weird, that's weird. So follow that, whatever you want to call it. It's you quickly assessing a situation's not right.
Right. So it's logical brain stuff and listen to your gut. Like, does your belly actually like lurch? Do you get like that fear response? Yeah.
And most of the people later, they'll say all of those things were not feeling right. Mm-hmm. And there's some good stories in there. Gift of Fear, folks. Get that book. It teaches you a lot. Right. Point.
I'm going to look up the author.
Okay. He has his own consulting agency, so he works for a lot of stars. One of them, he was called for Olivia Newton John. Do you remember when she was being stalked by that guy?
Oh, yeah.
And he ended up killing his parents and another...
What?
2 kids, and he was on the loose. 2 people, his cousins across the street, murdered his parents.
Oh, my God.
And next on the list, he had Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, I think, and Olivia Newton John. And they figured
Why?
out
What was his beef with her?
Because he's a lunatic, and somehow they found out that she, in one of her movies, reminded him of his mother.
Whoa.
Who had... And he killed his mom, like his mom pushed him against the furnace, and he had scars on his legs. He was probably schizophrenic and not, I shouldn't say nuts, but, mental disorders, and didn't like his mom. His mom was the devil to him. And she looked in one scene like his mother.
Whoa.
And so he always latched onto that as she wants to kill me. So then he's also a survivalist. So he was in the backwoods of her Malibu house living. And so he had to bring a survivalist team out to try to find him. And they found 2 other crazy people who were also stalking Olivia Newton John, but they were harmless crazies. Like he would assess who's the murderous type and who's harmless. One was like the king of Malibu, who she was the queen and he was protecting her. So he would live in the back of her Malibu hills and he was like in a little hut, but he's like, I am the king of Olivia Newton John. She's the queen and I'm watching over her. And they're like, okay, he's harmless. We'll leave him there.
What?
There were 2 other stalkers back there living in the woods as survivalists. So
Does she have a huge property or just the hills behind
her house in Malibu?
Oh my God.
But then this guy, she was next on the list. He really did go to Washington, D.C. for the Supreme Court justice. And he got busted because he got in an altercation with someone in the hotel he was staying at by borrowing their clock. He ended up stealing their clock, and that's how they caught him.
What?
Anyway, point. Wrigley. So.
Gift of Fear. Oh, yeah. So The Gift of Fear is a book by Gavin De Becker. There you go.
Do you want to read the description at all? Or?
Survival signals that protect us from violence. No, that's fine. Just what you said. Enough. Act on your gut.
So, my guts told me these kids were probably just smoking weed, but my guts went back to find the evidence and found the lollipop with resin. It looked like they had scraped a pipe or something because I sniffed the end.
Just like that monkey.
The butt of a bulldog. Sniffed the end and it was resin and weed. And so they might have thrown other stuff out the window. It might have not. But your vet said that dogs are like 700 times stronger.
Yeah, it was something like they can eat like the tiniest butt of a marijuana cigarette, a roach or whatever, and get super high. And that his symptoms were in line with that. They were not in line with the other plants we had on the property. They ran a blood work thing. I don't think they checked specifically for THC, but they were pretty darn sure. And they hydrated him. They gave him injections of fluids and let him sleep it off. He slept there for so long. Dave didn't pick him up from the ER until like
12:30.
Yeah, 1 a.m. something. But he slept it off, and then we had to feed him bland food the next day. You boiled some chicken.
Dave said he looked like a bulldog because they put so much water, like football pads on.
Yeah.
Because they hydrated him and injected his
it's like,
skin with water.
Yeah. What do they call that? Subcutaneous injections, like on his shoulder blades. It was weird.
So Wrigley, we call him Wrigley Chong now. Cheech and Chong.
Poor
guy.
And that was one of my first thoughts when I was explaining it to Dave, and I was looking at him, and I showed Dave the video when I called him at work. Like, he actually looks like he's high.
Really?
Like, it was weird. Yeah, like he was just sleeping, just like, hey, man. And then he'd lay his head back down.
Yeah, and then he'd pop back up and be like, all right, and lay back down.
Like, geez, all right, I'll have a lick. I'm tired.
And I wasn't sure. I didn't have that. Yeah. I was so scared.
I know, poor guy. So anyway, all's well that ends well. No more weed on the property. Aunt Nan has stocked the spot. And we installed all these cameras. They're real. And stickers on the trees. And now we're good to go. Because there were real break-ins in our neighborhood. So
El Salvadorian bandits.
Yeah, that's what really got us going, was my neighborhood. Our upstairs neighbor, not upstairs, but shares a hill with us, had a smash and grab situation, and I had to go search her house while she was gone. I went through and inspected to make sure they weren't in there, which was also a dumb move.
Why were you doing that?
I don't know. It was 4 p.m, and I thought, it's bright, and
oh, Jesus.
The back door was smashed. I had to walk over all the smashed glass.
Gift of fear.
I know. I went in with FaceTime, and she was on the other line, and I wanted to show her house was okay. Because they had all the cameras and stuff and all the motion sensors, and nothing had been sensed.
But they saw the dudes on the video, right? With the tool belt and everything?
No, that was a different video.
Oh.
There were,
But basically, it was a ring that was happening, and they called him the El Salvadorian. This is what she told me, that whenever she came to give you flowers for that. I was there.
My neighbor was like, thank you for taking care of our house, because then they quickly flew home and boarded it up and fixed it and all that. But
she said it's a gang of bandits from El Salvador with tools that come in and they sit in your hills and they look with binoculars to see who's gone and time out when people are gone and when they're on vacation. So then when they're on vacation at my mom's house during Christmas, you asked if I would stay at your house.
I know.
And I just imagined me sitting there with a baseball bat waiting for El Salvadorians to come in.
At the base of the Christmas tree, all by yourself.
Just by myself, without the dog there or anything, just like ready for bandit action. So I brought my grizzly bear spray.
Yeah, and nothing happened. And there were lots of meetings and talks and cameras and sheriffs and all that, because they realized they always worked in threes, and they learned all the trail systems behind the houses. It was really scary, but I think we're okay now. We'll see. But good job, Weens. You protected the house.
You know what I did? I took cardboard cutouts and I made it look like we were having a party, and I had a fern. I brought my plastic fern. Oh, that was the other thing.
That's good.
On my last trip to Joelle's house to move my shit in, I was like, well, I guess I'm doing this. I guess I'm gone. And I looked next to me and I had a fern, and I looked at my glove, whatever you call it, your fucking holder, excuse my French. By the way, we're in French Polynesia. I looked and I had my coffee, so I was like, I've got my thermos, and I've got this fern, and who is that?
My ashtray, the jerk.
The jerk.
So
that's all I needed. I was like, all I need is a fern.
My cat.
And my cat shithead stickers.
Dog shit. So good. And
so that was it.
And now, wait, recap the COVID thoughts, and we'll finish on that.
I might have had COVID. I was pretty sick on Christmas Day. I just laid there on your couch all day, and my body was super hurty, and I thought it was just because we had Don Adams, my tried and true friend, helped me move my whole place.
Yeah, you guys got a U-Haul.
Got a U-Haul. He was he's the best. He showed up, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don Adams. And we did
Listen to our horror episode back last Halloween. He's the horror film producer, writer, editor,
director of horror movies mostly. Yeah. And so we moved in. I just thought it was super body tired, but it never quite went away where I was super achy. I just kept taking Tylenol, which I normally don't do every day. I was just like aspirin, Tylenol. I'm like, what is wrong?
And I just read in the New York Times that this is a huge byproduct of the Omicron variant is the tiredness and the achiness, aches like backaches, because all of the cytokines get released and hang out in the arthritic or pre-arthritic joints and make people feel like that. So,
which I kept just wanting to lay down, and it was always lower back and neck where I have the issues.
Yeah, and tired. And do you feel less tired now? Or are you finally over it?
Finally can think about working out. But I was doing a workout every day with bands and everything, and I loved it. And it was only 20 minutes, but it was a good workout. Which my friend Scott Barron, the author. Do we have him on at all?
He did a big shout out on our poetry episode.
Yeah, he's
haiku.
He's a writer. He's got a ton of books out. He does sci-fi, and I want to give him a shout out. He's a great guy, and also bought me my workout, which is very nice of him because I don't have a lot of money right now. So thanks, folks. Everyone who's helping me, thank you.
Yay!
Dawn, Scott, you, and I'll get a job soon. I promise.
No, there's no need. Your job is to make this amazing documentary.
Matt and I are writing a Hallmark movie.
That's right, and then we have that. Weens, there's stuff on so many burners for you. You're the one with the busy schedule.
If I could get to it.
Yeah, I know. So we've been studying by watching Hallmark movies and these wonderful plot lines and exhilarating turns of events. It's good stuff.
It is good.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Matt Thompson, thank you, Matt, for the opportunity.
Yes. Matt, we are going to...
he's our voiceover guy.
Yeah, he's always the voice in the front of our episodes. So Matt's awesome. Writer, actor,
director, professor, and now Hallmark movie penship. What do you call this? Pinner?
Ghostwriter?
Yeah.
So there you go, folks.
Okay.
That's us in a nutshell. We are in Tahiti, speaking of nuts, and we are going to go find Mom. She went for a walk on the beach all by herself in her cute little dress, which she said she bought online from a slutty store. that was her description.
I'm going to go walking in my slutty dress.
So we have to go find our slutty mom somewhere.
But she's so little and so cute that it would never look slutty on her. Maybe it was slutty on like a big lady or something.
Yeah, she reminds me of like she could throw on some tap shoes and do a cute little number right now. It's cute,
Shirley
like
Temple.
a little cute little dress.
But we're in Tahiti. It's kind of rainy.
Yeah, but we'll do a follow-up Tahiti episode too because we have some fun recordings from the airport and stuff like that. So maybe once our trip is done, you will hear all about it in that form. But until then, I mean, thank you, everybody, for listening, and especially our patrons and Dream Dinners for sponsoring us. And patrons, we do have some music requests.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do some little ditties, some songs for the patrons. So let us know for those of you who have not requested one, and we will start... We'll add that to Weens' list of jobs.
Carla Reynolds was one who asked for a personalized song. Thank you, Carla. We will get that to you. And she's also helping on your birthday party. Whoop, whoop. Joelle's birthday's coming up. Her 50th.
50 years old. Lord have mercy. End of March. So save the date, everybody.
Yep.
All right. We will be back soon. We promise. Love you. Bye.
We got a song of joy to make you move. If you've got too many things weighing you down, let go. Get in the groove. And give it 1, 2, 3. Feel it right down your spine. And swoosh mother down and laugh on the ground and groove mother soul and fill in the holes, get down. And swoosh mother down and laugh on the ground and groove mother soul and fill in the holes, get down. Yes, we've got a song of joy for you. If you've got too many things it's holding you back. Let go, get in the groove, and give it 1, 2, 3. Feel it, loosen your mind, and hold mother down and spin super sound and dance mother whole and feel in your soul. Get down. And hold mother down and spin super sound and dance mother whole and feel in your soul. And hold mother down and spin super sound and dance mother whole and feel in your soul. And hold mother down and spin super sound and dance mother whole and feel in your soul. Get down. Got a song of joy to make you move. If you've got too many things weighing you down, let go, get in the groove, and give it 1, 2, 3. Feel it right down your spine, and smooth mother down and laugh on the ground, and groove mother soul and feel in the holes, and smooth mother down and laugh on the ground, and groove mother soul and feel in the holes, and smooth mother down and laugh on the ground, and groove mother soul and feel in the holes. Get down. And hold mother down and spin super sound and dance mother whole and feel in your soul. And hold mother down and spin super sound and dance mother whole and feel in your soul. And hold mother down and spin super sound and dance mother whole and feel in your soul. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down.
Hi, I'm Austin Rood.
And I'm Phil Rood, and we host The Picture Show with Austin and Phil Rood.
Clever name. Each week, we watch a movie and bring our discussion to the mics.
You can hear my opinions and Austin's wrong opinions about everything we watch.
No, you're the wrong one.
Get out.
The Picture Show with Austin and Phil Rood. Download it wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know that the Podfix Network, home of Perfect Package Podcast, Mouse and Weens, Old Man Orange, and more, has its own network podcast? Go wherever fine podcasts are found and look for Podfix Presents. Network highlights, interviews, roundtables, and more, all showcasing the eclectic depth of Podfix talent. So subscribe today. Podfix Presents on your podcast app of choice. And check us out at www.podfixnetwork.com, at Podfix on Twitter, and official_Podfix on the gram. The Podfix Network, artist owned and loved.
This was a podcast of the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.